Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. Today, I want to talk to you guys about probably one of the worst experiences I've ever gone through in my whole life, and that is my toothache story. Now, toothache is never something I ever really get. Something I've barely ever had during my lifespan. But a lot of people have said that toothache is one of the worst pains that you can actually have. So when I did get it, did I not believe? Trust me, I definitely knew that they was telling the truth then when they said it is one of the worst pains, if not the worst pain that you can have. Sorry. So, yeah, we're going to talk about my toothache story, which has essentially only lasted up to now, about a week, probably a week exactly. So last Wednesday, everything was fine and dandy. Everything was honky dory. Felt fine, felt wicked, felt fit as a fiddle. Then Wednesday evening, I had which I had some microwaved doner meat, and I had some potato waffles, and I think that was about it. And I think I maybe followed it with a cup of tea, which is what I've actually got right now in my lemon cup. So I ate my food, and shortly after eating my food, probably about 20 to half an hour, about 20 minutes to half an hour later, I just started to develop this pain in the side of my mouth. Now, I had actually had toothache here before, a little earlier on this year, and it was kind of like it used to come and go. Sometimes I'd eat, sometimes I'd get a little bit of tooth pain, and then it'd sort of just ease off, and then I wouldn't get it maybe for a couple of days again, and then I'd eat again maybe in a couple of days, and it'd sort of come back again. And then there was one day where it did come on actually quite bad, where I was in actually quite a lot of bad pain, and then I sort of did some little sort of techniques, and got told about some things I could do to ease the pain, and I did that, and the pain eased, and it just went away, and it didn't come back for ages, to the point where I thought, whatever it was, bit of stuck food, whatever caused it, um, you know, long gone, kind of thing. So, so last Wednesday, like I say, I was having my tea, and then about 20 minutes, half an hour into having my tea, I developed this tooth pain, and it wasn't too bad, but it was bad enough. It was there, and I could tell that I've got a little pain in the side of my mouth here. So I just kind of carried on like normal, sort of hoping it would sort of possibly maybe disappear. Struggled to get to sleep on Wednesday night. I was a little bit sort of, a little bit, I don't feel, um, Thursday daytime, I'd woke up, it wasn't too bad, more or less practically gone by this point. So I went on, carried on about my day, started eating and drinking again just like normal, and then the toothache, this time it came back a lot worse. It was quite bad. It was quite painful. To the point where at this point I'd actually made a mention to my mum and things, and I said, look, I've got this bad toothache. Went over some stuff, took some like painkillers and stuff for it, and it eased the pain off. Then we got to Friday, and Friday was a little bit like Wednesday, where there was a bit of a toothache there, but the pain wasn't too bad. Carried on, took a few more sort of like painkillers and stuff for it, but wasn't anything really mega bad. Saturday comes along. obviously I had my gig, had stomping. I woke up and the toothache again. It was a bit like Friday. It was there. It was sort of just aching in the background. Um, I had stomping, so I sort of got up and sort of went about my day. Had a bowl of cereal. Sort of got ready. Knew it was. Went over to my friend's house before the gig because they was obviously coming to the event as well, and another person was also gigging there as well. I got there, and then by this point the pain was actually starting to get a little bit worse into the afternoon, to the point where it was actually, to the point where I had to take a painkiller at my friend's house, sort of to help it. And that sort of eased it off a bit. And then I think the painkiller maybe must have worn off. Was at the gig. The toothache was back there again. Just sort of in the background, just aching a bit. I'm obviously trying to get on with my night, but the pain's obviously there. Just sort of slightly in the background, sort of causing a little bit of a nuisance and stuff like that. Then we come out of the gig. I'd gone to get some food from McDonald's, and the toothache came on to the point it was the worst that I'd ever had the toothache. It was absolutely belting out to the point where I was in agony. I could have cried at this point. It had like come on mega bad, and I was eating these chicken nuggets, and then I had to stop eating them. I couldn't eat them anymore. It just absolutely, it was just hurting too much. Trying to eat them, so I was already tired from the gig. I'd barely had anything to drink. I think at the most, I'd had maybe about 3 beers, and I think I'd had a couple of Jaeger bombs, but that was because I don't really drink much now. But my nan did say that if I have a couple of drinks, it might just ease the pain off a bit. So I thought, yeah, I might just have like a couple of drinks to ease the pain. I was going to have like a whiskey or something, but then we're in a nightclub, and I wasn't really sure. Like, I thought, do I really want to sit drinking whiskey in a nightclub? So I just stuck to a couple of beers, and I had a couple of Jaeger bombs, and I didn't even, I didn't even get drunk, which is a first for me at a stomping. But like I say, I don't really drink now. So when we come out of the stomping, I was more or less practically sober, to be honest. Apart from couple of drinks, and I was more just tired than anything. And like I said, the pain come on absolutely the worst that I'd had it. So I sort of pain myself to sleep. I'm laid there in just absolute pain, just sort of trying to get through it, and just trying my best to sort of get some shut eye. We'd already come in quite late. It was starting to get daylight. Um, so Sunday comes, and Sunday the pain is just there. It's just aching all day. It's coming and going, and it's like it was going and then it was coming, and it was throbbing, like proper really hard throbbing, to the point where it was just really causing me distress. And on the night in the evening, I just could not settle. It was like a proper coming and going. So I was sort of laid down, watching the catch up of Britain's Got Talent, and I had to keep pausing it because it just kept throbbing. I was causing a disturbance to my mum and them downstairs, who were trying to chill and watch telly, and I could not settle. And in that moment, it was just like I needed something to take that pain away, and there was nothing that they could really do, other than suggesting like take painkillers, blah blah blah. So eventually it got to about midnight, and I was like, look, I've got to ring 111. I need a dental. I need something. So I ring 111, and I finally get through. Obviously, tell them sort of a little bit about what my problem is, and there's no dentist available in Hull. Now, I'm not registered with a dentist. I don't like going to the dentist at the best of and I hadn't gone to my local dentist in Driffield since 2017. I moved in 2020 to Hull, So a good sort of 3 to 4 years I'd stopped going to that dentist before I moved to Hull. And then I moved to Hull, and I never registered to a Hull dentist, and um, never really, I guess in some sense, really took too much sort of effort, or I never even really thought about going to the dentist, blah blah blah. So anyway, I get through to 111. Like I say, no Hull dentist available, but they could offer one in Scunthorpe. Now the only issue is that they wanted to know like a yes or a no at the time of me being on the phone. So I couldn't say like can I just call someone and then ring you back. Like they wanted to know right there and then, so I couldn't hang up and ring someone else and then ring them back. Um, wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean? So sadly, I had to turn the appointment down because at the time I just never thought, and I just thought, do you know what? There's nothing, there's nothing we can do here. Um, so anyway, so I turn the appointment down, and they say, look, well, have a ring about tomorrow, see if there's any Hull dentists available, and see if you can get in anywhere. If not, sort of, give us a ring back, kind of thing. But by this point, I've sort of been on the phone to my nan and stuff, and they're like, look, if you've got to go out of town again, just say yes, and we'll take you whatever the time or whatever the need is. And obviously, I'm trying Hull dentists. There's no way of getting through. I'm trying and trying, really trying. There's just absolutely no way. So I resort to ringing back the 111 again. Speak to another woman. She go through the same sort of shedazzle that I told the previous woman on the Sunday. I'm in quite bad pain again by this point. And then she's like, got you we can give you an appointment in Scunthorpe, this time for Wednesday at 5:30, which was today. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. I was a little bit gutted at the time because I thought, have I really got to like go through all of Tuesday, like in this pain, and then all of Wednesday until tea time? Do you know what I mean? To sort of, to before this appointment. But at the other, on the other hand, I was just so pleased to get one. Finally get an appointment. Um, so obviously, I get this appointment. So all of yesterday, I was sort of on and off, in and out of pain. I was at the point where I went into town and got some clove oil. Started dosing up even more on my tablets and taking more than I was originally taking, which was kind of easing the pain. Decided to go to my band practice, which the time felt like a little bit of a good idea. Towards the end of the band practice, I was, to be fair, I was kind of regretting it. I was a little bit like, maybe I shouldn't have gone and done all that singing. Maybe it's taken a toll on my voice. And then obviously today comes along, and I'm in quite a lot of pain all day, but I'm just dosing in and out of these tablets, and because I'm dosing up quite a lot, it was easing the pain. So I go to my appointment today, and oh yeah, by the way, also yesterday I couldn't eat, so I tried having a bowl of cereal yesterday morning. I just could not do it. It was just hurting too much, to the point where I couldn't really have anything other than water and yogurt. That's how bad it was. So I go to my appointment tonight, and the moral of the story is I've had to have a tooth at the back. It's had to be taken out. There wasn't even a full tooth there. It had like some of it had disintegrated, just rotted away. Sadly, probably my own fault. I maybe should have looked after them a little bit better. So anyway, pulled the tooth out. And the mad and weird thing is I'm sat here now, and although my mouth just feels a tadgy little bit weird, like I can obviously tell there's a tooth missing. The side of my gum is just a slight tadgy little, but nothing like mega. You know, nowhere near compared to when I had the toothache. Um, so obviously this tooth, it was obviously causing the toothache. You know, for certain, because now this tooth has gone, it's almost just like the whole toothache has gone. And you know, I've had some tea, some supper. I've even managed a bag of crisps. Um, I've had a few cups of teas. I've even had a drink of milk. And it's just so crazy that, you know, like you've more or less like it's almost like say like you had a bruise on your arm, and then you just physically removed the bruise, and then suddenly the pain went. You know, it's almost like a time lapse of like a bruise healing, but you've just instantly ripped a tooth out, and then within about an hour to an hour and a half, it's just almost like you never had the toothache. Um, and I just can't believe it. I just want to say a big, massive shout out to the Rejuva dental practice in Scunthorpe, because if it hadn't have been for them, I'd have still been sat here in pain now. I'd have been dosing up every couple of every sort of 4 hours or something like that, because the pain would be coming back. I wouldn't be hardly able to eat. I'd be eating things like soup, and I'd be having water instead of cups of teas, which, don't get me wrong, water's good for you, but after a while it gets a bit boring, and you know, you fancy a bit of a different taste. And when you're sort of like down in water quite a bit as well and taking tablets, it bloats your belly up, and you know, and then you just get an awful taste from tablets. And so at the moment, like I say now, it sort of just feels like I never had the toothache, but it just feels like I've been to the dentist and had a little bit of work done, which I have. I did take some painkillers when I got back from the dentist, because I was just a little bit in pain. But I think if I'd have still had the toothache, they would have been wearing off by now. And the injection that the dentist gave me, that's worn off, because I can tell. So I sort of feel like if the toothache was really still there as such, it would have like come back by now. Because I took the tablets like way over 4 hours ago, so I think they would have been sort of wearing off by now, the painkillers. But all I can do is see how I feel tomorrow. You know, after sort of a night's sleep, and you know, the mouth might be a bit more sore in the morning. I'm not entirely sure. But this has definitely by far been one of the worst illnesses that I've ever had, because it made me feel so like just unwell. Like I was just burning up. I was getting too hot because the pain was just getting so unbearable. It was making me sweat. I was feeling. I mean, yesterday I was in and out of sleep, because I couldn't eat. I was feeling quite weak because I couldn't eat. I was feeling tired, you know, because I'd not been sleeping properly during the nights, and yeah, it's just a really weird feeling. Just a really weird feeling. But like I say, the now it just feels like the pain has gone. So all I can hope is that it's going to stay like that for now, and I don't get no more toothache in a hurry. Um, Sadly, I had to pull out of Aunt X and Friends, because I just didn't know what the situation was going to be with my mouth. And although now my mouth sort of feels a lot better, to the point where I probably could turn around and say, "Do you know what, I'll still make the gig." I don't know, like, you know, because I've been dosed up and stuff a lot today, so I still don't know if, you know, if the pain's going to come back. And I just don't want to risk it, doing too much sort of, you know, bit of bad boy, and with the mouth, you know, late night, you know, in a club and stuff like that. So I'm sort of thinking that I probably will just sit this one out, and then hopefully do something in the future. You know, if you get what I mean. But yeah, I thought I'd come live and share the story. I did sort of briefly talk about it in my Stomping Aftermath stream when I still had the toothache, but I was dosed up by that point, and it sort of had stopped hurting a little bit by then when I'd done the stream, but then it sort of came back on later on. But yeah, I just thought I'd come live and sort of share the moment and share the story. So make sure to like, make sure to comment and share. A non-music related stream here, but obviously, you know, just one of them things. I thought I'd come and sort of share the story. If ever anybody does get toothache, or if you are known to suffer with it, clove oil is definitely a good remedy. Get like a thing that like a bud that you clean your ear out with. Cover the end with the clove oil and rub it on the tooth where the pain is. Um, Take hydrochlorophene, paracetamol. Take 2 paracetamol and 2 hydrochlorophene, and in about 20 minutes the pain it does sort of ease off. If you're not registered with a dentist, ring 111 instantly. Or ring 111 at least after a couple of days if you know if it feels like the pain just isn't going away, kind of thing. Get booked into an emergency dentist as soon as you can. Even if you know, arrange with somebody to obviously drive you if you end up getting an out of town one. Um, Hot water bottle. Put a hot water bottle to your face if you've got any swelling, and it'll help the swelling go down. Just a nice little warm hot water bottle. That's another remedy that can help. Try to chew at one side of the mouth, which is quite a hard thing to do. I know. Sometimes when I was chewing, like it was a habit that I wanted to like move the food over to this side of the mouth and start chewing. And even now, I'm still trying to chew at this side of the mouth just so I don't sort of knock anything at this side and make it worse. As obviously some things have obviously some work's been done. But yeah, other than that, I mean, deep down and at the end of the day, I do not hope, you know, I do hope that none of you get the toothache like I had it. You know, I won't wish this pain upon some of my worst enemies. Well, actually, I probably would. But no, on a lot of people, most people, I would not wish this pain upon them. It really was a horrible. If anything, it was an uncomfy pain as well. You know, you could not just settle and lay and watch TV. Like, say, if you've got a broken leg, you can sort of just put your leg up and rest it. This was like a constant throbbing pain, and I could not settle, couldn't sit down, couldn't focus on anything. I had to just walk. I had to walk around. I had to try and do something to get rid of the pain there and then. And then I'd only settle down when the pain settled down. But yeah, anyway, guys, make sure to like, comment, share. Peace out, people.